Thank you, Chantel. I have a big note, but you beat me to it. This is for Team Empowerment and Team Continental. And today we're very fortunate to have James Weir, who is number 8 in FFL right now. And he's the master of dialing old leads, and not just dialing them, getting appointments booked and helping those people get coverage. So I'm going to read the leaderboard, and then we are going to turn it over to James so he can share his knowledge in this certain area of our business with us. So let's see. First, we have Nadia M. with 1 app for 444. We have Chris H. with 1 app for 621. We have Michael L. with 2 applications for 1,231. And Michael, first-time writer, welcome to the team, Michael. Glad to have you joining us, and congrats on this first application. Cliff J. with 1 application for 1,416. We have Cameron S. Great job, Cameron, on the board again with 1 application, 1,749. We have Donnie C. This is 2 weeks in a row for you, Donnie. Glad to have that. 2 applications, 2,346. And she and Dawn must have been in competition because Dawn T. has 3 applications for 2,347. $1 difference, ladies. So we have Kayla R. next with 3 apps for 2,481. We have Tisha R. Nice, Tisha, 1 application for 2,912. We have myself with Cameron. Is it your first week? I thought you wrote last week. I apologize. I thought this was your second week with numbers, but this is your first week, so sorry about that. Thanks for the correction, Chantel. And let's see, I was at myself. I have 11 applications for 12,082. And then we have Janine A. with 5 applications and 3 annuities. And guys, just in case you do not know, we are allowed to take 10% of your annuity to count towards your weekly production. So that puts Janine at 21,225. Awesome job, Janine. And then we have Chantel W. with 11 applications. She also had an annuity. Her total is 45,045. About half of that was an annuity, and the other half was simplified issue business, which is our bread and butter. So that was a very even week for Chantel, and amazing numbers, everybody. That brings us to 93,899 for the week. That is a record. Thank you, annuity ladies. And that a total of 48 applications and 12 writers. So great week. All right, so James, if you give us just a little bit of background before you get into just dialing the old leads, if you will.
Yeah, so I've been with the company. Like I said, my name is James Weir. We're out in St. Louis, Missouri, just south of there. And Jackie and I we've been with the company about 2.5 years. And 4 teenage boys, all in high school. 2 of them were getting out, going to college next year. And, you know, for 26 years before I started doing this stuff, I was a high school teacher and head football coach. Retired, got into the insurance business. So, you know, the big thing I always try to remind everybody is I didn't have any particular skill whatsoever to sell insurance before I started selling insurance. So, you know, I don't think that anybody that's having a little bit of success right now necessarily has had a huge background in it. They've just worked hard, and that's what I've tried to do is kind of work hard and listen to a lot of people who are a lot smarter than I am.
And James, when you first got started, did you get started with the older leads as a way to get leads in your budget?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So when I came over, Jackie actually came over about 3 months before I did. We're both divorced. We've been together for 3 years. So I was just coming off being divorced and had absolutely zero money for obvious reasons, and no credit cards, no way to really buy new leads, to be really honest with you guys. So John and Jeremy, John Wetmore's my VP. Him and Jeremy are. And so they just fed me $3 leads and $1 leads. I'll bet probably for the first 6 or 7 months that I was in the business, maybe a little longer. And I called those. Jackie give me a couple random new leads here or there she was having trouble get a hold of, and I'd see if I could get a hold of them. But really, the very first year, John and I figured this out, the very first full year that I was with the company, of the total that I paid, 112,000 of that was just $3 and $1 leads.
Wow, that speaks volumes. And since then, you've diversified your lead mix. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I've got I have some new mortgage areas, and then I also have I probably have about 51 counties in Missouri, Illinois, or Iowa on new leads for BPL stuff, and I still buy $3 and $1 leads every day that are in my counties.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to ask. So you have new leads, but you're still buying the $3. You said $3 and $1 leads?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. All right. Well, James, if you will get into the mechanics of what you say when you're dialing these old leads, we got a lot of new agents who are getting started on those, as just like you did, as a economical way to get leads and get out there. But I'm sure you can help us maximize their potential return on investment on that.
Okay. Absolutely. Like I said, I appreciate you ladies having me on the call today. One of the first things I think everybody needs to realize is that new leads aren't necessarily the best or only lead you should be getting. I know we've got a huge stigma in society of, newer is better. And what you've got to remember is, in my experience, probably anywhere from 60 to 65% of the people that I call on older leads, whether they're $1 or $3, actually have never talked to anybody on the phone. Nobody's got a hold of them. There are those people that never answer numbers they don't know, or, something's fallen through the crack and you just haven't been contacted yet. So that's one of the first things you want to remember is these leads aren't necessarily, bad leads. Like somebody's not giving you something terrible to run if they're doing these things for you. So what I do when I call the leads, my older leads I call very similar to my new leads. I'm not a huge, I want to say I'm not a huge structured person on the phone. By that I mean I try to make it more conversational than robotic. In my experience, if I call up and say, "This is James, I'm the field underwriter calling about your loan with Suncoast Loans and yada yada and this stuff," man, they're just going to hang up on me. And so I don't, I'm trying to give myself the best chance to be successful. So when I call up, what I'm trying to find out is, on those older leads, is has anybody been out there to see you guys? That's it. I want to know if anybody's gotten out there. I want to know if anybody's reached out. Those are the things I want to know right off the bat. So I'll just call up. I'd say, "Hey, Paige, this is James out at the Mortgage Protection Office here in Boone County. How are you today?" Everybody says, "Great." I go, "Paige, it looks like you and Joe sent in a form a little bit ago on how to protect your mortgage. Remember, if you died or became disabled, helps pay that loan off for you guys. Now, Paige, I was trying to find out, has anybody had a chance to get out there and sit down and go over this information with you guys?" And they're only going to say yes or no. That's it. There's only two answers. If they say, "Well, I'm not real sure," then that's a no, because everybody in the world, even if they don't remember sending in a lead, I remember sitting down and talking to somebody for 20 minutes to a half hour. So that means no if they say, "I don't know." So they say no. I say, "Paige, that's awesome. They've got me out in the area tomorrow. It takes about 10 minutes to go over this information with you guys real quick, and then set it like a normal appointment, checking on the time, work or retired or, what they might be." Then the other part is, yes, somebody's been out here. Awesome. So one of the things you want to remember on the phone, especially with these older leads, and especially kind of in general, is I'm kind of really a positive person. Everything's awesome. "Oh, yeah, our car got hit by a tornado. Oh, man, that's awesome. You guys are alive." Be positive. If you call these leads and you're expecting them to tell you to, go fly a kite and, all these other horrible things, then they're going to do it because it's going to be in your voice. So remember, you're still doing them a favor. So if they say yes, I say, man, that's awesome. Let me get a couple notes down in your folder so I can get you off the call list. Now, the reason I tell them that is everybody in America thinks they're on this magical call list that people are to bother them and bug them. They don't realize they've sent in 47 leads and they can't understand why they've got more than one phone call. So I go, especially, and I've got two different scenarios. So if they're about 40 and over, okay, we're probably showing them something. I go, did somebody come out there and show you a premium that's probably like another mortgage payment, like $200, $300, $400? And most of the time, that's exactly what's happened. Somebody from one of these other companies that doesn't do it as well as we do comes out, says, hey, Paige, you qualify for $647 for your 30-year mortgage, no return of premium. How's that sound? And you and your husband say, man, that's a little bit much. Okay, see you later, bye, and they leave. That's exactly how it happens. I've heard it time and time again from people. So everybody says, yeah, that was kind of expensive. We couldn't afford it. And so then I kind of let them talk for a sec. And then I go, Paige, I'm not real sure who you gave your personal information to, but, the programs in the county here are all pretty much around $100 or under. Does that sound a lot better in your budget? And the reason I can say that is I know I'm buying time with them. They've already told me that the term was too expensive. Remember, all term prices are pretty close to each other, so it's just too expensive for them, which is perfectly fine, perfectly understandable. And then all of them say, well, how come they didn't show me that? That's a lot more affordable. Why didn't they show me that? And I tell them, I'm like, well, once again, I'm not real sure who you gave your personal information to. I'm the only guy out here in the county. So if it wasn't me, I'm not sure who it was. But I'll be out in the area tomorrow, kind of based on what that looks like age-wise. Looks like you guys might be retired. Is that right? Oh, man, that's awesome. Are you guys morning people or afternoon people? Set an appointment. Oh, okay. Well, you guys kind of know the gist of all the programs, so let me swing by for about 5 or 6 minutes real quick. I'll just go over that other pricing, and we'll get you set up from there. How's that sound? Most of them just roll right with it. I mean, they really do. I was really shocked in the beginning that so many people just rolled right into being like, yeah, man, that sounds awesome. All right, yeah, come on over. The other scenario then, Paige, is younger couples, 20s and 30s. We know they're going to get cash back. We know it's cheap. We know it's inexpensive. There shouldn't be any reason any of them shouldn't take it. Even if they tell you they got to speak to their mom, get mom on the phone right then and there. But anyway, so if you guys were in their 20s and 30s, which I know you guys aren't very far off of, I would say, Paige, man, that's awesome. I can't believe you guys got that 30-year return of premium that pays every cent back if you don't die. But, man, if anything happens, pays everything off. Man, I'm excited for you guys to have that in place. And if they say anything other than, yep, we love it, it's awesome, it's the best thing I've ever seen, then I'm going to, if they say, no, what are you talking about? Getting money back. And I'm like, well, you didn't get a program set up that you get your money back? And I said, oh, I'm sorry. And they always say, what do you mean you're sorry? I'm like, well, you guys must be sick or something, right? I mean, you got some illnesses or, you're not dying, are you? And they go, no, we're perfectly healthy. I'm 26 years old. I haven't taken an aspirin in 15 years. I'm like, well, I'm having a hard time figuring out why you guys wouldn't have got the return of premium then. Well, he never showed it to us. Because you got to remember, and for all you people out there listening, and I had to pick this up as I went along too, we're one of the very, very, very few companies in America that have a product that's going to give them all their money back, which is Americo, and all the living benefits. With Mutual, they got to pick one or the other. CFG, they got to pick one or the other. So if they say anything other than, yeah, that sounds awesome, then I get with them the same way. Oh, okay, well, they've got me out in the area tomorrow. What time do you guys get home from work? Let me swing by. I'll just show you what that pricing and what that looks like for about 5 minutes real quick, and kind of go from there. And a lot of those people, same thing. A lot of them roll right into it. Some of the people you got to remember when you're calling these older leads, some of them are jerks. Some of them are aggravated. Some are old and crotchety. Some of them are young and don't realize that they should do it. So one of the things I had to learn was I never really got disappointed in the people or got down on myself. I would tend to argue a little bit with them because I knew they were dumb, being dumb. I mean, realistically, they're being dumb if they don't have anything at all. And So arguing doesn't, I kind of argued with them a little bit here and there, just kind of pass the time, break up the monotony, to be honest with you. I can safely say I never set an appointment with arguing with any of them. But I did feel a little better after about 30 seconds. But I wouldn't suggest arguing realistically. I'd call John up and say, man, this guy was this. We argued for like 10 minutes. And he's like, oh, you set the appointment? I'm like, nope. He goes, oh, so you wasted 10 minutes, right? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. But I feel a lot better. And he's like, you felt better wasting 10 minutes? I'm like, I know what you're doing, but I still felt a little better. So I get your point, and I moved on from there and got better at that kind of stuff. One of the things you need to realize, too, with the $3 and $1 leads is at the end of the day, some of the people actually did do a good job. They have a good program. They visited with somebody that really did take care of them. So everybody's not a liar. Everybody's not just trying to get rid of you or be rude. Some people actually were adults and responsible and got good policy. So you got to remember that, too. And the big thing I had to get over in the beginning was the money part. And so most of you guys who are starting out don't have a ton of money to throw towards things, which I didn't either. Which it's not a problem, really. Don't feel bad. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel anything. It's just what your situation is at that time. I mean, like I said, I was a very successful high school football coach and teacher for 26 years. Got out of that, was in the middle of a divorce, some crazy stuff going on with my other side of my marriage. And, you have to get past those things because everybody's got problems. I end up paying a lot of bills I wasn't responsible for, and I'm always going to pay for my kids and all their stuff. But, the big thing is life just kicks you sometimes. And so you're in the situation you're in right now, count it as a blessing that you found this company, that you found these two ladies to help you, guide you, and make you a better person and a more, not a more responsible person, but a more successful person for your own family and other families as well. But the thing you've got to remember is in the beginning, guys, I literally would call John. He would say, how many appointments did you set? And I'm like, man, I couldn't get a hold of like 10 people. I'm like, $30. Like, man, I apologize. I'm still calling. I'll get him going. He goes, $30? I'm like, I know. I can't believe it. And he's like, bro, it's $30. He's like, shut up and keep dialing. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to get past the point of, at that time, $30 was a lot of money, Paige and Chantel. I'll tell you what. $30 was, not far off what I may have had in the account to start out with. So,
yep.
When you start out, you've got to get past the fact that you are spending a little money. People will tell you, if you're thinking about getting in the industry or you're just starting out or whatever you're doing, all those people are going to say, well, yeah, leads are expensive, $50 for new ones. And the amount of money you can make off some of these things. Like this week, I submitted a little bit over $13,000. I think I wrote 14 applications, to be honest with you. Ran 31 appointments, I think, maybe 32. And of those sales, 5 of them were $3 leads, and 1 of them was a $1 lead. About 2.5 years old. Guy lived way out in the country. I mean, way out in the country. And nobody ever came out. Nobody called. Nobody did anything. So it was literally not a lay down sale, but you got to. The one thing I like too, guys, you guys that are starting out, the one thing I really love about the $1 and $3 leads are, like I said before, if you set the appointment, they're a little harder to set the appointment because you got to go through a little more of them. But they're a better appointment once you get there because those people know nobody's gotten a hold of them yet. Or they're people who have said, I'm going to think about it to 5 or 6 other people, and they know the time is now. So you literally can not be as good as you need to be maybe on a brand new lead and still have success in the house for the family and for you. Because you really just – a lot of those $3 and $1 leads, and if you happen to set 50-cent leads, things like that, I mean, you literally have to have taken a shower in the morning and not be a jerk, and you're going to be able to help them out with something. I mean, it's just how it is. It's how it works out.
You forgot brush your teeth.
Exactly. And you may not even have to brush your teeth depending on how close you are, but shower pretty much, yes. even though some of these $3 leads, you walk into some crazy houses, I'm going to let you know.
But that is such a good point. So you don't have the agents, other agents coming in right after you that you would on a new lead.
Nope, not at all.
So
and one of the things you want to remember, right? One of the things I've found out in the 2 years of doing this too is I don't buy older leads, and I really don't buy newer leads either, but I don't buy leads in bigger cities. That's just a personal preference of mine. I look at it this way. There are, I'll use St. Louis as an example. So I don't run appointments in St. Louis unless I know somebody or one of my friends needs help or family or something like that, or I get a referral from somebody. Because if you look at St. Louis, it's a big city, and everybody thinks, oh, the money's in St. Louis, just around this area. Money's in St. Louis. Money's in here. So that's where all the agents are. So when somebody in St. Louis, I get a brand new lead, and somebody says, 15 people already contacted me, I don't think they're lying because that's where everybody is. I buy all the older leads in most of all my counties are in more suburban to rural to just flat out country areas because I don't want to have to deal with people being stupid, people being dumb, and having to fight 50 agents in one area. That's the thing is, as a football coach, if I was going against a team that had a bunch of really, really good players on the right-hand side of their defense, then I'm going to run to the left side. I don't have to be very smart to know that. Same thing with this business. There's certain things that are harder. Stay away from them. Go to the things that are easier and be more successful doing that, if that kind of makes sense to you.
Perfect sense.
Absolutely. And James, where are you at so far for the year?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
What is your, where are you so far for the year, issue pay?
So far, I think, let's see, I'm probably about, right now, almost right around 80,000, I think.
Well, that's why you're number 8. And what's your goal for this year?
I really, and this is kind of, it's good and bad. Everybody always talks about what's your issue paid number, things like that. My goal this year is to, like I was last year, I want to run 120 appointments a month and keep working on getting better. I need to get, work on finding annuities. I don't have a number. It'd be nice to write 400, get in the Hall of Fame, obviously. The one thing I realized in this business is I can't control what kind of premium I get out of the house. So I think it's kind of crazy when people say, I'm going to do 400,000, I'm going to do 500,000. You don't know that. You could visit 600 homes and get $10 out of every home. So I'm more focused on the activity because I know if I keep working hard on getting better and I see more families, then I'm going to be more successful. As a coach, I always wanted to win the state championship game, but I didn't focus on the state championship game every day at work, every day at school. We focused on winning that game that week or having a great practice that day. That's one of the things I think, a lot of new agents get sucked up in thinking they need to, write 10,000, write 20,000, do all this stuff, and they're thinking about all this while they're calling. My goal each time I sit down to call is to set the number of appointments I need for the next 2 days. That's it. That's simply it. I'm not trying to write 30 grand. I'm not trying to find 10 annuities. I'm not looking through my leads thinking, oh, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a great one. This is going to be an awesome one. I'm literally just trying to get in to talk to 16 people the next 2 days. That's it. I know it's not a very good answer. I know you guys want me to say like 400, 500,000.
No, actually,
but
I can tell that you work closely with John Wetmore with that 120 appointments per month. I have heard that repeatedly from him, and he is one that talks a lot about focus on what you can control, and that's your activity. And I did notice you said you were working on 31 appointments last week, which is awesome. Is that your weekly goal to hit the 120 per month?
Yeah, I'm always trying to do anywhere. I'm trying to do anywhere between 30 and 40 appointments a week. So the week before I had 37 appointments. I just ran a couple extra days, things like that. So I, like this week is going to be, trying to think. This week's going to be short on me on appointments because I've got to go to Houston for training and then I got to go out to California for training. But normally I'm trying to run anywhere from 30 to 40 appointments, 30 kind of being the drop dead number, to be honest with you. But one of the things I do, I do some things. Jackie and I, like I said, have 4 teenage boys. 3 of the 4 are in baseball right now. 2 are doing winter sports, and then 3 of them are in football in the fall. So our schedule is we don't have a schedule. And I say that meaning we're going to work our 40 hours and get the things we need to get in. Jackie's going to run anywhere from 20 to 25 appointments a week, and I'll do 30 to 40. But, it's differing times. Like today I'm sitting here calling for Saturday because we leave Sunday. But I've got 2 baseball games to get to tonight, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to book a bunch of appointments if I'm going to miss the kids' games. So, but we do. One of the things I do all the time, too, is I literally probably only sit down and book appointments 1 day a week. So someday at the beginning of the week, either a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, I'm going to actually sit down and book 16 appointments for the next 2 days. Now, I may run. There's a lot of times I'll run 4 and 5 days in a row. I just run 6 to 8 appointments starting maybe like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, knowing that the next morning I'm going to get up and call for the next day. But I'm also calling in between appointments, and if I get a no-show, I may pull over in a parking lot and, make phone calls for an hour for the next couple of days. Because one of the things I don't end up door knocking very much, only because the areas I run in, it's out in the country. It takes a long time to get places. So instead of getting maybe 1, maybe tops 2 door knocks in, I feel like 60 minutes of calling is more important for me. Sometimes than just a door knock, if that makes sense.
It does, especially with that distance. That
right,
does make
absolutely.
total sense. Wow. Okay. Well, gosh, Chantel, do you have any additional questions for James?
No, I think he nailed it, and I'm so appreciative, James, of you taking the time out of your day to do this call with us and help our agents. I know a lot of people want to call older mortgage leads, so have been struggling on how to do so. So really appreciate you.
Yeah, and one
Absolutely.
thing too, ladies, before I forget, one of the things I do also is I send a lot of texts on those older leads. I'll take a picture of the lead and send them out a text and give them 4 or 5 times to pick from. A lot of those people, when they tell you, hey, I don't even remember doing this. I mean, they literally might not remember doing it. I've got trouble sometimes remembering what I did last week, and so they might not have thought about it. But once they see the lead with their own handwriting on there, then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's it. Oh, okay, I see what they're doing. All right, that makes sense. And they still may say no, but at least they know what's going on. When you get there, which is the big thing about it. So I do send out those texts. I send out pictures of the older leads. I leave voice messages. I know a lot of people say don't leave voice messages. Call them 800 times from 5,000 numbers. I don't find that works for me. I'm a little ADHD, so I don't like that whole idea. But I will send out texts, give them time. If they don't respond to the text, I'll, in an hour or so, I'll say, which time works best for you guys. And if nobody answers after that for about an hour, then I'll just send them a text back that simply says, see you tomorrow. And you can't imagine the number of texts I get back and phone calls.
I like that.
Tomorrow, what's this about? What's this about? What are you talking about? What's this about? And I simply say, because I'm trying to be very nice to these people at this point in time, I simply say, reread the first text I sent you. And then they're, oh, okay. I want to say, hey, dummy. I told the ones that are like, who is this? I'm like, it clearly says in the text, and but I'm trying not to be as sarcastic as I normally would in life. So I'm just like, reread the first text, go from there. But you can imagine the number of people when you tell them you're gonna, no problem, I'll be there at 7 a.m. tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 7 a.m. That's what I put. See you tomorrow at 7 a.m. The number of people that call back and text back, and I simply got that from John. That's what John used to do. So he just did it in a voice message. So it's
oh wow,
a little bit
I
everything.
Like that.
I mean, the big thing is everything works a little bit. Not everything works all the time. That's why, if you talk to anybody who's having any success doing anything, if there's 10 of us in a room, maybe 2 of us are doing something similar, and everybody's got their own spin on something that's working for them, which is great, which is the best part about this deal. I don't have to be Paige. I don't have to be Chantal. I don't have to be, anybody else. I don't have to be John. I just have to find which part of all this company works for me, which is the nice part about it.
That is great. And James, Chantel mentioned the help of all our agents. I have to tell you, I've got a page and a half of notes here, so it helped me too. Truly appreciate you taking the time to help all of us out. Great training. As always, you're not only good in the home, you're good at sharing what you do, James, and I really appreciate that.
No worries, ladies. Like I said, I talked to so many people, and so many people helped me along the way that, it would seem kind of crazy not to, give back. So no problem there whatsoever.
Absolutely. All right. Well, there you go, team. James Weir. If you're not friends with him on Facebook, you should send him a friend request. James, thanks again. Everybody go out, make it a great Friday. Let's have another big week. We're in week 3 of March. We're aiming for our team goals, but we also have the competition with Golden State, the March Madness. So everybody work hard, and let's make it a great week. Take care.
Thank you.